So a lot of people like to start off their stand with a bang. I'm just going to mumble for a little bit because then it can just go up from there. So how many of you have seen this TV show on A&E called Intervention? Right? It's fucked up shit. Yeah, totally. This show is like the Debbie Downer of television shows. Like, it does not get invited to other television shows' parties. Can you imagine I walk in and it's like, oh hey, 30 Rock, what's up, dude? Oh man. Yeah, this week, I don't know, Tracy Morgan says some crazy shit, and Tina Fey gets in a sticky situation, and Alec Baldwin's the best thing that ever happened at Thursday nights. What's up with you, Intervention? Oh man, well, there was this mother of 3, and she used to make $200,000 a year, and then she discovered vodka, and now she's unemployed, and she spends every day digging through garbage cans looking for an extra drop of vodka, and when she can't find any, it's okay because she's got an economy-sized bottle of mouthwash that she takes swigs out of, and she looks like she's gonna die, and her kids are always crying, but it's cool, let's take some shots! Right? I was bored the other day. I wound up watching Intervention on Hulu for 6 hours. Afterwards, man, I wanted to crawl up on my parents' bed and have my mother, like, stroke my hair, tell me everything's gonna be okay. I didn't want to drink ever again. I didn't want to smell alcohol. I didn't want to be anywhere near it. Not that I think that I'm at risk for being an addict. I don't think I have a very addictive nature. Like, this would be me with, like, a bunch of meth smokers. So what's up, guys? Hey, you want some? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Day 2. Hey, you want some? Yeah, I guess, man, whatever. All right, let's do this. Day 3. Hey, man, you want some? Dude, what the fuck is up? Are we gonna play Wii Bowling or not? Because every day I've come over here, you guys tell me we're gonna play Wii Bowling, and then all you do is fucking smoke meth. This is busted. And it's so funny. I think the funniest part of this show is that every single person that's an addict on that show was like #1 in their class and a White House intern and like won all these like beauty pageants. It makes me feel good that I like wasn't that successful as a kid. I've got that to look forward to. But I wish this show was around when I was a kid because I feel like I would have gotten away with a lot more shit. Like, Dad, I know that I broke the TV remote, but at least there's not a warrant out for my arrest because I wrote some forged checks trying to feed my coke habit. At least I didn't do that shit, Dad. And I think they need to get rid of, like, the DARE program, get rid of Just Say No, and just show this stuff to kids in schools because they will never get on drugs. They will never take a drink of alcohol. They should just change Just Say No to just remember that chick on Intervention who used to be a mom and now she looks like she's 50 but really she's 20. That shit's real. So have you ever been masturbating and you like realize you're watching something completely inappropriate? Like you're watching, you get your Netflix and it's like, oh, a documentary on Helvetica, the font. Like the history. And all of a sudden in the middle you're like struck with the urge to get it on. And you can't, like you have to pause the DVD and go to RedTube and then like, you gotta get it done. You can't concentrate. Yeah, I go to RedTube, guys. I know what that is. I think you're the only ones that know that shit. Right? So the other day, I was at my boyfriend's, and his dishwasher was making these really fucked up noises. And I was like, are you hearing this? And he's like, oh yeah, my dishwasher's a little messed up. I was like, a little messed up? That thing's trying to communicate with Mars, man. Do you ever worry about your machines, like, communicating with other things? Like, my parents on Facebook are always like, don't put your personal information because your boss might find it. And I'm like, I'm not worried about my boss, Mom. I'm worried about fucking aliens. Could you imagine if, like, everything on the earth blew up and that was all that was left was Facebook and aliens? Aliens would think that we were all a bunch of farmers and the mafia who hate hot collars and drink constantly. You know what I mean? This is where I'm going to stare at you all awkwardly. You know what else is awkward? Trying to tell a guy that you're period while you're trying to have sex with him. It's awkward, right? Laugh at it. It's like I can't just come out and say, hey, you know what, this is really awesome and we should totally do this, but I'm on my period. Like, I feel dirty saying that, so I have to, like, go around it, and I'm like, So, sometimes when you're a woman and a certain time of the month comes around and there's something you have to do, and sometimes it's better and sometimes it's worse. And so one time this guy thought that I was trying to tell him that I couldn't pay my rent that month, and he actually offered me a loan. That relationship did not last very long. Speaking of Facebook, I love all these people who've changed their Facebook pictures to Conan O'Brien as if that's going to do a goddamn thing for them. I think, I'm totally all about this, solidarity and, uniting the country in hard economic times, and Conan lost his job, and that's, it's really great that we're all sticking behind him, but I think a lot of people forget that Conan O'Brien went to Harvard and has had a couple TV shows and got $45 fucking million in severance. I think he's doing okay, everybody. You don't have to be with Coco on this one. I think that he should give $1 to everyone who has that on their Facebook thing, because we've upped his ratings over the last couple of years. So, my boyfriend's father bought him this Christmas gift that we thought was fucking awesome when we first found out about it, and then later it's turned out that it's not so awesome. He bought him the entire series of Fraggle Rock. Right? Sounds like a good fucking idea. Watch it. Watch it now. I loved this shit when I was a kid. I watched this shit all the time. Watch it now. Go back and watch a bunch of Muppets flop around. It's not as amusing as it was when you were 2 years old. I was either I was retarded as a child, or my parents were spiking my bottles. 'Cause even after 2 glasses of wine, this was the worst TV I've ever seen in my life. And I have this quote that we had to look it up on Wikipedia to find the dates, because that's what you do when you have an iPhone. And I found this quote from this documentary about Fraggle Rock from 1987. And it says, and I quote, "The setting depicts a world with a relatively complex system of symbiotic relationships between different races of creatures, an allegory to the human world where each group was somehow unaware of how interconnected and important they were to one another. Creating this allegorical world allowed the program to entertain and amuse while seriously exploring complex issues of prejudice, spirituality, personal identity, environment, and social conflict." Now, after reading this, I went back and I watched it again, trying to keep this in mind, and for some reason, it was hard to look past the actual human old man with the Muppet dog, and these colorful creatures running around singing with a giant trash heap. And according to Jim Henson, that makes me a racist. Thank you, guys.
Give it up one more time for Lisa.